Hey there, Rapidly Ripped listeners. Welcome back to another episode that's sure to pique your interest and keep you hooked from start to finish. Today, we're delving into the life of the one and only Arnold Schwarzenegger. But this isn't just a rehash of the well-worn tales you've heard 1,000 times. No, we're digging deep to uncover the lesser-known facts, the shenanigans, and those rare tidbits that only hardcore fans crave. Stick around as we peel back the layers and give you an intimate look at the man behind the muscle. From his intense training sessions at Gold's Gym to his rise in Hollywood and beyond, this episode promises to deliver the rare insights and untold stories you won't find anywhere else. Ready to dive in? Chapter 1. From Austria to Awesome, The Humble Beginnings. Imagine this, a tiny village called Thal, Austria. Population? Not even enough for a decent block party. It's 1947, post-World War II, and life is about as exciting as watching paint dry on a cold day. Enter Arnold Alois Schwarzenegger, just a kid with big ears, big dreams, and a last name nobody in America would ever pronounce right. Arnold wasn't born into greatness. He was born into a house without indoor plumbing. Yeah, you heard me. The man who would later own mansions started life in a home where taking a hot shower meant collecting firewood first. If that's not motivation to hustle, I don't know what is. His dad was a strict cop, the kind who probably scared the crap out of the local kids just by walking down the street. His mom? She was sweet but practical, doing her best to keep Arnold and his brother, Meinhard, in line. Now here's the thing about Arnold. Even as a kid, he knew he was different. While other kids were dreaming about following in their parents' footsteps, Arnold was out there thinking, nah, I'm going to make my own footsteps, and they're going to echo. And then he found it, the spark, the aha moment, the thing that would define his life forever, a bodybuilding magazine. Yep, a single beat-up issue of Muscle and Fitness lit a fire in young Arnold like nothing else. He saw pictures of guys like Reg Park and Steve Reeves, massive dudes with muscles for days, and thought, I want that. I want to be that. Now, let's pause for a second. Imagine being a teenager in the middle of nowhere, telling everyone you're going to become the best bodybuilder in the world. Not just in Austria, not just in Europe, the world. That's like saying you're going to walk on Mars. People laughed at him, of course. But Arnold, he didn't care. He was too busy scheming, lifting, and daydreaming about being bigger, physically and metaphorically, than anyone could imagine. His first gym was basically a pile of rusty weights in a cold shed. He didn't have a fancy trainer or an Instagram influencer shouting, "Let's go!" in his ear. It was just Arnold, raw determination, and probably a lot of frozen fingers in the winter. But here's the thing. The dude worked. He didn't just kind of lift weights. He attacked them like they owed him money. And that's where the magic started. Arnold realized early on that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. He didn't have access to the best tools or resources, but he had grit. And if there's one thing this guy would later prove, it's that grit can take you anywhere. By the time he hit his late teens, Arnold was already a local legend. People would stop and stare because, let's be real, you don't see 6-foot-tall teenagers with cannonball shoulders walking around your village every day. But Arnold wasn't just lifting weights. He was building a dream, brick by brick, rep by rep. He entered his first bodybuilding competition at 18, didn't win. And you know what? He wasn't mad. He was pumped because now he knew the game. He had a taste of the spotlight and he wanted more. Fast forward a couple of years and Arnold had one goal: get to America, the land of opportunity, the home of Hollywood, the birthplace of cheeseburgers the size of your head. He'd heard about California gyms like Gold's where the pros trained and decided, that's where I belong. So what did he do? He started saying yes to every opportunity that would get him closer. Competitions, exhibitions, you name it. He didn't care how long it took or how hard it was. He was a freight train on a one-way track to success, and nothing, not doubters, not limited resources, not even his thick Austrian accent, was going to stop him. Arnold's early life is a lesson for all of us. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is where you're going and how hard you're willing to work to get there. He didn't let his circumstances define him. Instead, he defined his circumstances. And that's how a kid from a tiny village with no indoor plumbing started the journey to becoming a global icon. So, if you've ever felt like the odds are stacked against you, just remember, Arnold started with a pile of rusty weights in a cold shed. What's your excuse?